Howdy-ho, folks. Well, it's a comic review with a title that can get me in trouble. Um, it's Sex Criminals. This is the fourth trade in the series. It covers issues 16 through 20. And these are not rapists or sexual predators, as I've heard people called. That the backstory is, I'm gonna have to really be. This is an adult book. It's rated M for mature. There is nudity and sexual situations and talk of kink and whatnot, but they are not committing sex crimes. The reason they're sex criminals, I'll explain it. A guy and a girl end up meeting, but the way they meet is the guy's kind of a typical dude, kind of a schlub, normal gamer guy. And at a break, I think it was a break in a video game, or at one point, he's taking care of business. And at the point of completion, time stops and he enters into not another world, it's just time stops and he can do anything. And he walks around and everyone's frozen, does whatever he wants. And one of the things he does is poops in his boss's plant, a potted plant. It's gross, it's funny. And he meets a girl who was also playing the slot machine, as you'd say. And she has the same power. And that's pretty much the first trade. They decide to work together and have a relationship and, have sex. And when they both achieve, they both go into the time-stopped world together. And now they're robbing banks and they're committing crimes. So they're sex criminals. That's where the name comes from. It's a cute name. It's a name that can get you in trouble on YouTube, though. Now, as far as the age bracket for this book, I would say it's a 16 and up because there's nudity and sex, but it's not X-rated. It's not for, it's not unrealistic in the relationships in the book. So, and I'll say, I'm a fan of Cherry Pop-Tart. It's an X-rated book. I don't think Larry Welts makes it anymore. I've met him. I was friends with him for a while. It was an unrealistic sex type of book that I would not recommend to anyone who has not been in a relationship. It was over sexualized. People overly endowed. These were not real relationships. It was just funny fun. These are real relationships. In this book, well, let me get to the story of it. As they are doing these crimes, they are discovered by the sex police. And I'm not even going to describe what they have to do, but they're watching for crimes, keeping themselves, let's say, edging. And when they discover a crime, through their methods, they finish off so they can go into this world. And this world, as the this was one of the funnier parts, how you can discover kind of how women look at things and how guys look at things. When they meet, he asks her what she calls, or I guess she asks him what he calls the moment when they can come into this time-stopped world. He says, it's come time. And he asks her, and she goes, it's the happening, which is kind of a good take on how guys and girls look at a younger, 20s guys and girls look at sex and relationships, because they do come into a relationship. They meet the police. These are all happening in the second, third books. The sex police stop them, tell them you can't do this. You're still criminals, and there's a lot of us that can do this. So we're in the fourth book. When I read it, the entire premise is relationships. There's the fun of it. It's a funny book, and it's a well-drawn book. It's a wonderful book. Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky, if you know them, they're great writers, great artists, funny people. But the core of this part is relationships. So what they've had is they had a hookup. Things were hot. They went out and committed crimes because they could do it after they had, and so they have a very sexual relationship. And now we're at that point where do we go from here? And that's real to me. That the porno stuff is not real, but this, I would let this go to a slightly younger person, because the message is real. It's not all fun and games. There's a point where things, you have to, I don't know. This book has a real relationship aspect that I appreciated. I found it so good, so readable, so important in a way. But it has an unfortunate title and it's a bit silly too, So it's hard when a book has such, good reading material in it, like the Catwoman Under the Moon. I think that's an important book. I also think it's a difficult book for different reasons. But anyhow, I'll give you a quick peek at the interior, and I just hope I do okay. Yeah, it looks okay. So it's, there's a sex cop, and she does business, sexual business. And she's, it's nice. The art's nice. It's funny. And this is and it's volume 4, Fourgy, which that doesn't mean anything. It's just 4. It's a pun on the number 4. I'm looking forward to the next one. I love this book. I hope I don't have problems because of the name. And it is, again, a more adult book, so I'm not recommending it to anyone under 18. Although I do think people under 18 could handle it. But I don't recommend it. Your parents decide. All right. That's a comic review. And I thank you. I'll talk to you guys later.